welcome back to Around the Track with our guest, Michel Jourdain. So you started racing when you were around 12 years old, and racing's been your life ever since and your passion. I'm curious what other passions or hobbies maybe outside of racing that you may have.
Well, not in the last couple of years, but I did some triathlons. I really enjoyed it. When I was little, I used to swim, and I enjoy the outdoors. I hated going to the gym when I was like, especially in IndyCar, that you had to be in really, really good shape going to the gym. I just did it because I had to, no? But I enjoy being in the outdoors. And lately, with my wife, we've been going mountain hiking, going to the volcanoes, with the couple of volcanoes that you see when you are coming into Mexico City. We've hiked them, and we want to do more of that, because it's, for me, it must feel like that, if going to Mars or to the moon, when you are in a place that very few people have been, and with the rocks are different, and with the altitude, probably the oxygen is less, so you feel it's like a different world. So I'm enjoying that.
Well, and it takes experience and age to appreciate that,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
take that all in, and probably like a spiritual moment almost.
Yeah, and my son studied abroad last year in Switzerland, and the week before he went, I went with him to one of these volcanoes, just him and myself. It was still a school day, in a weekday, so we had the whole volcano for the two of us. And he told me, he was 11 then, and I picked him up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He lives with his mom, and I woke him up to see the sunrise, and we start walking, and halfway through the day, he tells me, "Dad, will I remember this the rest of my life?" I said, "I don't know about you, but I will, you know." So there's moments like that, and sharing that with my wife and with the kids and everything, it's just fantastic.
Yeah. And I talked about experience and age. You're in your 40s now, still racing. What kind of things? We know racing's sort of a young man's sport, but what is it that motivates you to still stay strong and competitive into your 40s?
Well, I think first, as long as somebody wants me to drive, I'll do it. I think it's easier because we don't have as many races. I understand guys
and
like
you do triathlon, so it's probably nothing to you.
Yeah, but I mean, I think especially like in Copa, a lot of guys that are retiring at a much younger age than when.
I don't know anything about that.
But it's tiring, and you're doing the 36, 37 weekends plus all the PR and all the. It's hard, and for me it's quite easy. We have 12 races a year. I leave Friday morning, I'm Sunday night at home, and I get to spend time with my friends and with my dad, and I feel like I'm still competitive and I'm still winning races. So as long as it's like this and I keep enjoying it, I will do it forever. The day I either get scared or I don't enjoy it, then I'll move somewhere else.
So we're here in Mexico City, where you were born. You live here. This is my second time to Mexico City. Last time I didn't get a chance to venture out much. Give me some advice. What do I have to take in while I'm here in Mexico City?
A lot of food.
Unfortunately, I'm on a diet. I can't eat anything.
Well, I think still you can have a diet.
I might have to cheat. I might have to do. I love tacos.
I don't tell your wife. Okay,
Thank you.
Stays here between us. But for sure, Mexican food.
I love Mexican.
Is the best, and there is, so much variety of food, and I think Mexico City right now is like second or third city in the world with museums, as you don't have much time. But even just driving around here, Reforma, I think, is one of the most beautiful avenues in the world. And here you just go like a mile or so, and you're in downtown, and it's also really beautiful. So, I mean, I think there is so many things. Museums. There's the History Museum, also like a quarter of a mile around here. So there's a lot to see.
Perfect. I can walk there. I don't have to get in the traffic.
Yeah, you can walk there.
All right, well, let's flip over to the United States. When you were there, I'm curious to know what was one of your fondest memories or experiences whether it be racing or non-racing in the States?
Well, of course, I spent so many times and I have so many great friends and met fantastic people. I was very lucky to race with great characters. The first team I was with Andy Evans and Dick Simon, and Dick Simon was a great character. Then I drove for Dale Coyne and Walter Payton for 3 years, and Walter was a very, very big inspiration in my life. He passed away the day after the last race I did for the team, so miss him every day. He was really, really special. And of course, with Jimmy Vasser as teammate, he's not also a great driver, but so much fun to be around. And
I grew up racing with Jimmy, so I know Jimmy well.
Jimmy is the best. But also in places, I spent a lot of time in the Midwest because with Peyton Coyne Racing was in Chicago. Also with Bettenhausen, it's in Indy. I spent time there. And a lot of Midwest races, so I used to fly a lot into Chicago. But also California, I have family in Southern California. But I think probably the best place for me was racing in Laguna Seca.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. I wish that I had a chance to race in Laguna. I've driven around the track, never raced there. What a spectacular place.
You should. It's fantastic track, but also with Monterey and Carmel around there, so it's good, beautiful place. And I remember I tried to do every year the 17-mile road drive around that. It's close to there, or a couple of times after that we used to have a couple of years we had a charity ride with motorcycles and rode down to LA through one highway. So I think that was the most special.
You know, as someone who grew up racing in Mexico, and you know, auto racing is big in Mexico, but probably not as big as other sports. What advice would you have for young aspiring race car drivers who maybe want to get to NASCAR or want to get to IndyCar or Formula One who are here in Mexico? What can you tell them that maybe can help guide them in the right direction?
Well, I think first, I think racing in Mexico is good. There's a lot of guys with a lot of experience. So first you need to be beating the guys here. Why? No, because I think a lot of guys make this mistake that they are just starting and they go to Europe or to the States, and first either their family or their sponsors have to spend a lot more money when it's cheaper here and with guys with a lot of experience. No, there's guys racing this still when I was starting to race, and very competitive. Daniel Suarez, you know how competitive he is and how good he is, and he was never a champion here, you know. So right. to beat the guys here, you need to be good. And then, but also there's a balance. The earlier either you go to a NASCAR regional series in the States, or if you want to go to Formula One, you have to, or to a Formula 4 in Europe or something like that. And I think to go with good teams, surround yourself with good people. I think it's the same. It's the same in racing as any other business. You have to surround yourself with the best people and practice, because to get to beat or race with the best, you have to try harder than them.
Sure. Thanks, Michel. It's been great to get to know you a little bit better, as well as hear more about your career. Thanks for tuning in to Around the Track. Visit axaltaracing.com or follow Axalta Racing on social media to find out when the next episode will air.